The next Indiecember game is called No Players Online. This is a first-person shooter. Kind of. You saw what happened to this one? Exactly why I reached out to them. Immediately I can interact. A game by Adam Pipe. Tibau van den Broek. I don't know if I'm saying their names correctly. Devs, I hope you're here. With sound by Victor Krause. Red seems bad for my bones. What is that? What is that? That was probably bad for my bones. That seems... Oh. Oh man, look at that 512 megabytes, dude. Hell yeah, graphics. Oh, look at that RAM. Phenomenal. No players online. Man's got a Fental core. Lucky. Yeah, exactly. 512 meg in this economy? Impossible. Hey, look. Huh. More than 6 months ago. More than 6 months ago. Let's look at the quality. Yeah. God, I miss old stuff. Oh, crap. You're not supposed to see the password.
Darth_Godzilla said if a ferret with no legs is a worm, does that make Nemo the Kwisatz Haderach or Shai Hulud?
Yes.
I think some of us were hoping he was going to be the Adeptus Mechanicus Omnissiah.
I think he would be. What shall I name myself? Oh, I can't. I'm just a guess. What do we got in this old computer, man? Mind friend. Minds equals 20. Okay. No pictures, huh? Establishing connection to World Eye Connect services over port 4301. We'll leave that connecting. That's going to take a while, based on where we are in time. Oh no, we're just stuck here, aren't we? Nice. Oh, did we do it? Yeah. Welcome back. World Eye user 9974. 13 degrees Celsius. It's cloudy. Game create. Game design board. Feedback and help. Off topic. We need to get into the game. Will I find it? Add friends. No one on the friends list. Audio player. I miss these Winamp skins, dude. That's what I want in my life. I don't have anything on that. Horrifying. Ooh. Deep fear. What do you mean incorrect? Below the 3 is safe? But this one has... Oh, you're right, because that one has a 1. That's a horrifying number to see. That is a deeply horrific number. 1, 2. There has to be a 1 here. Yeah, alright. Now we're styling. This is good. This has to be that one. Who puts a 5? Disgusting. This is the one, so it's not this one. It's those two. That's one. The horror. This is the one. But if this one's a 1, it can't be that one. And it can't be that one. It's this one. Winner! Mine friend. I did it. Alright. I got a chat message. Hello, Quinwin. What's up, dude? Hey, thanks for accepting my friend request. Oh! If I type anything, it comes out as, hey, who are you? Hey, who are you? Oh, I'm Quinn. I saw you online on the forum and decided to add you. Forum? I want to play a game with you. That sounds creepy. I love that you press the buttons and it writes it out. No, not in a creepy way. Just like, I don't really have any online friends. Okay, so what game do you want to play? So, get this. I found this website with an alpha test for some shooter game. I'm pretty sure they stopped development on the game, but the download link is still up, so we can play it. So it's just a simple shooter game? No. It's like a capture the flag game. Sure. Where can I get the game? Man, I love getting wares. And then getting a great 90s virus on my machine, dude. I'll send the link. Welcome. Thank you for taking an interest in the alpha test of our game. By downloading this game, you hereby agree to allowing Inuit Games Ltd. To collect your gameplay data and use it for further improving the game. Any data collected will only be used internally and not be sold to any third parties. Should any info come into the hands of a third party, something Ltd. is... Oh, yeah, Ltd. Is not liable for any damages caused by this. We paid a lawyer a lot of money to write this for us as well, so it better hold up in court. That's funny as hell. Inuit Games. Alright. 532 kilobytes. It's massive, dude. Just make a room and I'll join you. Alright. Thank you for downloading the alpha version. Don't forget to leave feedback on the forum. On the forum. Note, servers may be unstable. Let us know if you're having trouble connecting to a host. Manifest? Packages? Bin? This is a good idea. Create room. Set room size. Set room name. What do we name it? What do we name it, Chet? It's definitely not how you get a virus, dude. Name it Butts. What? I was naming it Butts, but one to the right. Set map. Okay. We've started the room. Hell yeah. Sick. Look at that animation. God, this feels haunted. This feels so haunted. Like, something about it makes me feel gross. Like I'm playing found footage. You know? Oh, it's getting dark. Wait, what? I feel like that was a good idea. That's probably fine. Yeah, it's fine. It's just a graphical problem, you know. The game's not. It's not done, right? Like they just didn't. The devs just didn't finish it, you know. Wait. Right? Oh. What is happening? No, 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 no. All right. That's fine. That's fine. That's probably fine. That's just, you know, it's another bug. That's probably just another, it's probably just another bug. You know, like, that's all. A lot of bugs. No! You come back! Come back! Development of the game has been temporarily suspended due to personal bereavement affecting our team. Its feedback form has been closed. Don't do that. Stop that. Stop that at once. No. God, there's so many bugs. Sentimental, sentimental, sentimental. Game's haunted. Game's haunted. Oh, game's haunted. Oh. Your computer encountered a critical error. Needs to reboot. Okay. Okay. Guys, you wouldn't download a Ghost, would you? Would you? I think I downloaded a Ghost. It's probably a big mistake, but I think I did. Yeah. Is it Casper? You could go ask him if he's friendly. That might work, right? Just go right up and ask him. Wait, did it say I had more RAM? Wait, did my specs change? Wait, what's happening? No, my computer's different. Oh, no! No! No, my guest. My guest. It's gone. SIT TNI? Sent. IMEN. T. It's just sentimental. It's his password. Is it his ghost? Soul transfer dev? Infuse tab usage instructions. Place the vessel game in the middle slot. Place a fitting stone in the correct slot. Press infuse. Soul essence from the stone will be infused into the vessel game. Opening the game immediately will allow the souls to do whatever they want with it. It's best to open game through editor and implement mechanics manually. Requires sigil star inserted at port 01 with Pentastar version 0.3 or higher. Oh, he was clearly making like a tabletop game, right? That's not real. No. Department of Esoteric Research. Yeah, this is all like a TTRPG setting, right? Right? We didn't download the key to the Phylact through it. That couldn't. No. This copy is intended for research purposes only. Do not distribute. Usage instruction. Generate host. Add 2 games as sources. Press transfer soul. If games have similar enough souls, they will be combined. Requires sigil star inserted at port 01, Pentastar version 0.3 or higher. Changelog. Updated backend to support shaders. Updated backend to improve loading times when starting up game. NAND geometry should no longer corrupt graphical assets. Added infuse tab. Only compatible with games running on Sigil base 1.3.2. Oh my god. Basic functionality is in. Extracted applications are unstable at best. Missing signatures, old applications are lost. Pentastar dumping souls. Manage to stabilize combining games. No more crashing. Actually, let's go up the list. Change to open combined game. Crashes almost immediately. Combinations of graphical assets cause visual artifacts. Found a way to properly transfer graphical assets to new game. Only minor visual artifacts remain. Games remain unplayable. If 2 games with similar mechanics get combined, game is somewhat playable. Notice that combined games' graphics are more defined, higher definition. Possibly, Pentastar can fill in the gaps in packets. Promising. We'll research more. Refined soul transferring process. Games of different genres can be combined successfully. Soul compatibility perhaps not as important as I thought. Needed to upgrade CPU sigil hardware interfacing. Game's not completely playable yet, but first results are interesting. Had the idea to increase compatibility by reinforcing base with other souls using sigil. Seems to work even if fuel games have completely different soul signatures. Frame rate incredibly high, causing time delta discrepancy. Pentastar has more power than anticipated. Perhaps GPU only is too much? Big breakthrough. Transferred the souls of 2 graphically intense games. I was able to create a game that has 3 dimensions. Not the fake stuff. Real 3D. This is huge. Potentially, Pentastar method can become base for a game engine. I just need to find a way to create an engine of some kind to develop my own game on. Invented packets. Might be a risk, though. Managed to stabilize combined games. No more crashing. Added infusing tab to streamline sigil reinforcement. Will serve as possible base for my own game. Last update for a while I focus on engine research. He just wanted to make a game, so he merged souls to do it. That's probably fun. To do, CTF, fixed geometry missing in pool. Schedule meeting to design CTF forest. Post update on progress since alpha. Wait, they're friends with Quinn. Hey, I just wanted to say I really liked the alpha test of the game. Glad to hear that. If you discover any bugs, feel free to let me know. Hey John, how's development of the game going? Hey John, me and some other people are still playing the alpha version and are loving it. Can't wait for another official playtest. He's just a fan. He's just a fan of the game. Hey John, it's Winston H. Richmond from howtowinston.richmond.org. I played your game and I'm beyond impressed. Inuit's engine is miles ahead of the competition. 3D graphics, I mean, wow, just wow. Let's sit down sometime in the future and talk about working together. I'm available this Friday. I'm also available this Friday. Hey John, just checking back in with you. Maybe you missed my last message. Would love to talk about what we can do for each other. Hey John, I'll be out of the office for the foreseeable future. Some government issues. For some reason, they're convinced I'm evading taxes. For some reason. Inuit Sabine. Any progress on the no-clip bug? No, it's incredibly hard to replicate. I'll check around and see if anyone recorded a video. Don't worry about it. Just move on to other stuff if you can't replicate it. Alright. The concept art for the forest map should almost be done. Perfect. I'll get a meeting set up with the designers so we can start on that map. Thank you. This is all normal. This is normal stuff, right? Everything here seems pretty normal. Yeah, it's normal. Really liked the alpha test, John. When you told me you'd do 3D graphics, I gotta be honest, I didn't believe you. I told you I could do it. You should stop doubting me so much. I'm sorry. Any plans for release? Not too sure yet. We've gotten some good feedback from this alpha test. We just have to put that to good use. Alright. Well, if you ever need someone to play with, shoot me a message. Browser. What was the last website he went to? Bookmarks. John Mullard. He had another bookmark. We should look at his downloads, too. No downloads. John Muller's blog. Welcome to my personal website. I'm setting up this blog to post updates about my work. Expect mostly in-progress screenshots and ramblings on games I'm working on. For probably few who ran into this blog don't know me, here's a little introduction. I'm John. During the day, I'm a student, but at night I work on little hobby game projects. I'm doing this for almost about half a year now, so my game design skills are not great yet. Luckily, my studies are helping me with the coding part of it. I saw a lot of people starting blogs for this type of thing, so here's mine. I'll probably update sporadically when I'm cooking up a game, so please bookmark this blog and give it a look every now and then. Speak soon. There's a ton in here. There's a ton in here. Wait. So he was doing soul merging to make the game and had a blog talking about the game he was building publicly, and nobody knew what he was doing to build it. And this went on from 1961 to 1974. Comes with a heavy heart that I have to say development of the game has been temporarily suspended. I'm also stopping posts on this blog and locking my email. I just need some time to process all this. Don't worry about me, I'll be okay. There was no mention of what happened. John Dev is not, his password is not sentimental. What on Notepad? Can we open Notepad and find anything? No. Jesus. The man's a genius with Mindfriend. I don't play Minesweeper, dude. Oh wait, we didn't go through this. I went through these. Created a game today that behaved unlike any I've seen before. The gameplay was much more abstract than usual. These two random games that have no story at all suddenly have a story to tell me. Highly unusual, possibly dangerous. Are the souls trying to communicate? Continue playing the aforementioned game and it transformed into a stone. The game crashed, and the icon transformed into a stone right in front of my eyes. I'll do more research on this stone, but it seems very stable. Combined games are always inconsistent and full of glitches, but this stone is calm. I could potentially use it to build my own engine on? Maybe I'm getting ahead of myself. These stones, before, I only assumed they contained the souls of the original games, but it's much more than that. I think it's their pure essence. I can see the souls perfectly trapped inside the stones, and their mechanics too. That's not good. That's not good. Yeah. Soul transfer, don't worry about it. It's definitely just the TTRPG setting. It's fine. It's fine. This is all... fake. Don't worry about it. Created a rudimentary version of what will be the Infuse tab. I infused the stone into a simple game I made. It's unbelievable. I loaded up the game and it had all the stone's mechanics, randomly placed throughout the game. It's as if these souls created their own gameplay. Played around with more of the soul essence. It's terrifying what it can do. We'll need to find a way to intercept the souls before they alter the game if I want to create the game myself. Finished the custom engine and connected it to the Infuse tab. I'm now able to intercept the souls before they get their hands, on my game. With the editor, I can use the soul's mechanics however I please. Further research showed me that using the engine to intercept the souls and their mechanics destroys the souls in the process. It seems a game's soul can only exist without any external influence. The mechanics and visuals remain mine to use though, which is the most important part. Confirmed that destroying a game's soul through my editor doesn't influence the original game in any way. Good thing, otherwise a lot of games would have already been destroyed. I noticed older version of the CTF prototype have lost their soul. Creating a new version of the game seems to destroy the previous soul of the game. Need to research this more. Further research showed me that using engine to intercept the souls and their mechanics destroys the souls in the process. It seems a game's soul can only exist without any external influence. Oh wait, this is the one we already read. I was like, wait a minute. Today marks the day I stopped my research. I've completed the base for the CTF game. I infused it with 3 stones, each containing mechanics, visuals, things I need to make this game. I'm getting married soon. I'd love to spend more time on this, but I created exactly what I wanted. No use in playing with souls any longer. Best to leave them to the rest and give my game its own soul. What do you mean, give your game its own soul? What does that mean? Mindfriend data. Winner! Alpha feedback. Update menu look. Navigation is confusing. Add jumping. More variety in Gorge. Imagine if you clicked the mine. I know, right? That'd be a mess. That'd be so funny, dude. Okay. CTF beta? Wait, no. I killed it. Soul transfer. We need more. Huh. Oh, he just put a... Yeah, it's just capture on it. I mean, it's going to destroy the originals, right? That's what he said. Maybe I don't want to do this just yet. Oh. There you go. Okay. I think I'm going to wait. I think I'm going to wait to do this, because it'll destroy it. Although we know how this works now. We could put Mindfriend in it. Oh yeah, well, actually, you know what? Let's do that. What if we did Soul Transfer with Mindfriend? We played the CTF beta before. What if we... Not compatible. Not compatible, huh? Because they're too different. The games are too different. Idea. We can go into the browser. Not in downloads, but in bookmarks. We can go to John Mullard. I think he had a section where he was talking about games. Clock game download. Clock MV1. There we go. I'm going to download his games, and then I'm going to merge them using the soul thing. It's a good idea. It's a good idea. Okay, I'm grabbing all of his games first, just to see. Just gonna grab every game he has. Okay, that's all of the games on the website, because those are the ones that have the links. I think that's him and his wife. You can see that has a soul. Thank you for so much downloading. Look at the time. Time is stopped. Win back the hours by racing the hour hand. Swing the pendulum back and forth to make the minute hand tick a full circle before the black hour hand reaches the end. Time goes a little bit faster every hour. Arrow keys can swing the pendulum. Big swings take longer, but make for bigger ticks. I like that. What an interesting way to do this. It's showing you the level. It's not actually a clock. I'm controlling the ticking. It's you're basically beating the second hand with the minute hand. And the idea is that you have to beat it before it reaches the end, and it moves faster and faster. Well, this is waiting for the jump scare. Dude, if it happens, I'm gonna shit myself. So, I'm gonna close out of this. I want to look at the other game. Dungeon Blade. What is this one? They trapped you in this dungeon. All you have is your trusty blade. You must escape. Space is attack. Move forward and backwards. Look left and right is the arrow key. Okay. Bat sprite, cultist sprite, skeleton. It's got a bunch of levels. Level unused. Huh. I wonder if I could change the names of the files in some way. Alright. They trapped you in this dungeon. All you have is your sword. Okay, that's cool. Like real 3D, yeah. It was like unheard of at the time. Oh. Oh shit. Alright. There's so much game in this game, yeah. You're playing a game in a game? No, I'm using my computer to play a video game that I downloaded on the internet after logging in as a guy who's probably dead and definitely uses souls to make video games. It's not weird. It's like normal 90s shit, dude. It's fine. Yeah, it's normal. Yeah. He's definitely not like dead and in the video game. Alright. I wonder how far it actually allows me to go. Is there a win condition? Like, is there a win condition, or can I just go forever? Matryoshka game? A little bit. Dungeon Blade is weirdly engaging. That's because old games were good. Feels like Hexen. It does have a little bit of Hexen feel to it. It's just like a simple... Wait, what is that? I can see out of the dungeon. Am I on the top floor? I can see out. We're almost out. Texture bug? I don't think so. I think we can leave. I think this is our chance. Thinking more like Wolfenstein 3D. Yeah, I mean, it's funny because like, there's games that were like this at the time, like Eye of the Beholder. But they used that fake 3D, which is, it's 2D grids where you had transition sequences between every environment, and would just play that. But this is true 3D, as he was talking about inside of his logs. Wait, no, we are out. I was right. You successfully escaped the dungeon. Enjoy your freedom. For now. Alright, well, that game doesn't have a soul. Does it? Maybe it does. Hold up. Let's run soul transfer. Oh, it does have a soul. It's red. CTF Beta doesn't have a soul. What does this do? Oh! Oh god, what have I done? I've made a huge mistake. It's an unplayable game. Chat, what have I done? There's gonna be a mine in there, isn't there? Maybe it's playable. Wait. Oh, there we go. So we've taken Mindfriend and merged it with the dungeon game. That's hilarious. This is actually really difficult. Wait, how do I do this one? There's no way to do it. Oh, okay. Nope. I can go diagonally, though. I think I can do it. Oh, I almost had it. God. God among gamers. Can you shoot? No. Flag the mines? I can't. Yeah, flagging them doesn't do anything. God damn it. I pressed down into the side, it did do it. Alright. Okay. Way more stressful than I thought it was going to be honest with you. Alright. Dude, how many levels are in this? What happens if we merge that one? Wait. I'm going to separate those games back out. So we keep them. Then I'm going to go into Infuse. We need to make a crystal. What would we infuse? The CTF Beta? Okay. We need to transfer other games into this game. Dungeon Blade works, but what about Clock Game? Clock Sweeper. Oh, crap. I don't know what I expected. I don't know what I expected. Damn it. It's just a bomb. Damn it. We cool? That's the whole game. All right. Okay. Okay. That's insane. And we can take... What about Dungeon Clock? Okay, those don't work. I need more games. Let's go to the internet. It's probably fine. All this is probably fine, you know? Right? Can you merge something with the audio player? Actually, let's find out. If I open Soul Transfer, it has to have a soul, right? Not every game, or not every program has a soul. It has to have... See how this has souls? Like, those have souls. So, like, this is red, that one's green. This one will merge with any of the colors. But this one merges only with green, this one merges only with red. If we go to the infuse... idea. Won't do it, because there's no soul in it. Maybe the soul is white? Just in case, I want to test. Just in case. Okay, no. We'll have that in there. I'll go back to the infuse window. We'll pop it in there for soul transfer. It's just sit inside of that. I want to go to browser. We need games. It lacks a soul like other programs. Yeah, exactly. A sign-in was detected on a different device. Please log in again to view newer messages. I have an idea. We've got... Let me write this down so we've got this. 34... Was it 34? No, I gotta go check. Hold up. When I started up this program, it connects to a browser. It connects to a thing here. Let's grab this for a second. We're gonna turn this off. Empty the host. Remove it, and then when we generate it. Wait for it. There. 187.34.465. Let me write this down. This is the one that we saw earlier. 187.34.4.65. There we go. Grab that. And now, we'll close this out, go into the browser, and type that in. Oh, an hour's passed? Give me a minute. We could do a port. We could do port 80. Oh, no, port 666. That's true. Because that's what it was connecting over. Couldn't do it. Another game. We just need more games, Jen. Yeah, we don't need anything else. We don't need to play them. We just need the games. Yeah. I will call the devs in a moment. I want the games first. It's not an addiction. It'll be fine. Fishing with knives, yes. Yeah, I have to have a full library of games. Oh, this forum is really messed up. You know, they must have all these bugs. Bugs in the forum, you know? Oh, it has a soul. Bark, bark, bark. Nina wants to go out. Should I take her? It's okay. I can take her for you. Let me just finish up this part real quick. No, please. I've been bothering you enough all day. I'll take her again. I don't mind. But it's night out now. It's really not safe. I'll just go around the park. I'll be fine. Okay, but be careful. I'll make us something when you get back. Thanks, honey. Love you. Love you too. Take Nina out for a walk? Yes. I fused two games together and got a dog named Nina. What's wrong, Nina? You see something? Bark, bark. You're having trouble seeing where you're going. Keep going. You hear the still water of the lake. You notice you can't see Nina anymore. Keep going. You can't see anything. You decide to keep going. Oh, that's a cool game. That's great. Let's just pop the Infinity Stone in there and congratulate the developers on their amazing video game that they made. It was totally... The dog is fine. I'm gonna call the devs now. So, this game is cool. Can you explain to the audience who you are and what it is that you do? I'm gonna pause the ads before they try to cut us off. There we go. Yeah. Let everybody know who you are. Just explain. Go for it, man.
So I hate to disappoint everyone, but I'm not actually the lead developer on this game. My name is Ted, and I run the publisher. Well, it's mine. I own it. The publisher, Black Lantern Collective. So
Totally fair.
I've been working. Yeah, I've been working with Beeswax Games for like, I don't know, 5 years. I just can't even remember when I first fucking met them. It was like 5 years ago. I think. Shit, can I swear?
Yeah, you're fine. It's already too late anyway, but that's fine. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
This is how I do business like this too. I really should stop. But whatever. Yeah, no, I've known the developers for a long time. And yeah, we published No Players Online, and it's been cool until it got fucking DMCA struck, and that sucked. But now it's back, and thank you for playing it.
Yeah, no, I heard about that on Twitter that you guys got struck, and that there's a critical moment when a game releases, and it's for the first, 7 days of the game being out, just about 7 to 10 days. And if a game, for whatever reason, is unavailable during that, you just lose the Steam algorithm forever. It's just gone, right? So when their game got taken down that first time period, that critical window, I was like, okay, I'm going to reach out to these guys, because that's an awful time for that to happen. So here is the video game. Definitely go and grab this. I'll link this to you guys. Yeah, go wishlist the game. Seriously, straight up follow it. I haven't even done it yet. There we go. Done.
Can you hear me better now?
That is way higher quality. Yeah.
Technical issues, my bad. But I'm mostly I don't even devs care a lot about, not being homeless. I just think people should play it because it's really unique and weird.
So it's actually interesting. So since you're from the publishing house, was the dev nervous to be on or anything like that? Because it's totally fine. I'm interested.
No. He's so there's 3 devs. There's Victor, Adam, and Thibaut. Victor doesn't really do interviews and stuff. He's the musician, and he kind of likes to be behind the scenes. But Thibaut and Adam, Thibaut's a lot of the technical stuff, and Adam is a lot of the creative stuff. But I don't want to say that Thibaut doesn't do creative stuff. They're
Sure.
Small team, wear a lot of hats. They're just in Korea, and it's they didn't want to wake up for this.
That's totally fair. I mean, if they want to have a chat as well, at a time that makes more sense, because I'm in West Coast United States, but I stream from midnight till noon, right? And we could always do an offline interview if you want, if we want to add that to the video and stuff. And in Korea, if it's Korea weird time, time zones suck. Well, the globe, it's dumb. But yeah, with that in mind,
also, I do interviews for them all the time at conventions and shit like that. I've been doing this for a while, so I can answer any questions you have about the game. I'm not just a business guy. I know what I'm talking about with it. So
yeah, I'm mostly interested. What is the inspiration for this? Because I've played a number of games that are like this. I really liked Hypnospace Outlaw as an example, and this is very similar in terms of that, but it's haunted. It's deeply haunted in comparison. So yeah, if you want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so basically, the story goes back a while. So Adam, there's an original version of this game that was a game jam game. Then that was back in 2019. Basically, Adam, who's one of the, I said, he's the creative lead of the 3 devs. He was doing a study abroad program in the Netherlands, and they had a class assignment to make an Unreal map, and so he made this Unreal map and was like, you know what? I think this is like kind of like just running around this map, seeing if it feels good. There's like a kind of a sense of loneliness to it that's very like creepy and interesting, and basically then went on to make like a game jam game version of it that was no players online, and it kind of like fucking blew up out of nowhere, and from there he was like, I should try to do this ARG to try to engage the audience and just do some fun stuff, because like back then he was doing this thing. Actually, Adam's one of my favorite developers, by the way, like not only as like a creative, but like as a person. He's like a really cool dude, and he did this like challenge where he did a game a month for 32 months, and which is like
That's
insane.
wild.
Like
Yeah,
I know, dude. Like
they just make like a weird game each time.
Yeah, and so this is one of the games that he did for that, and it just kind of, this is the one that kind of blew up out of nowhere, and after that he sat on it for a little while, formed a new studio, which was Beeswax Games. I actually published their previous game as well. I used to run a publisher called Dread XP that did all horror games, and they made a game called Spookware, and that's where I met him. Is that I was doing like an anthology collection of like 10 small games, and Spooker was one of those, and then we fleshed that one out into a main game. And so when he was done with that, he went to the Belgian government and was like, pretty please, or the Flemish Game Devs Association. They're gonna be mad at me that I can't remember what they're called. Flemish something,
Fair,
Flanders, whatever. In Belgium, they paid for the game. And so he started. They started developing it, the three of them, as Beeswax, and basically, when they were like formulating the idea for the game, they didn't want to just like do something that was like, because like the initial premise of it of being like an Amanda. There's certain games that like work as short concepts that don't work as longer concepts. Like, there's only so many pages you can find in the wood before Slender gets boring. You get what I mean by that? Like,
yeah. No, I agree. I 100% agree. Like, it gets played out real fast.
Yeah, and so they didn't like, just being an abandoned multiplayer lobby doesn't like sound super like fun long term. So they wanted to like do something that had like a little bit more substance, and because of his history in making these games a month, and Spookware was basically, it's like WarioWare but spooky. It's also a really cool game. I would recommend people check it out, but I don't. I'm not friends with the people that own that company anymore, so
That's
I'm not Beeswax, the publisher.
Yeah, no worries at all.
But no, I mean, you should still buy it because it's a cool game. I'm just being a petty little bitch, but
I love that you can get like this. This really does feel like it really does feel like something like Hypnospace Outlaw, like an entire in-game universe for this. And I'm just sitting in the '90s web on some like tiny weird machine, right? Like it actually feels fantastic.
Cool.
Yeah,
I love. So that's the thing, is that like they put. One of the things that's really difficult to like teach developers is like vibes, and like the best way to get vibes is to like create an experience that your brain doesn't like see the cracks in. And so when they were making this game, it's like there's like such an attention to detail to making it feel authentic. From like the forum to the way that you can like drag the icons to like the way that the file system works and things like that. It's just I love the attention to detail of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I love we can even use like search and do download, and it shows me everywhere that this is download on the website. Just done. Like,
yeah,
I love that all of this actually functions, and it feels fantastic for that reason.
Yeah. And like, so the thing is, like, one of the reasons that these like kind of forms exist and stuff, and this actually goes back to the question you're asking, like the inspiration. They didn't want to like the game. They wanted to make a game basically about making games, like, because for Adam, like the creator, the story of No Players Online, like when we look at it from the outside, we see just like the one game that he made that did really well. Like, we like to view we can't see the totality of like a developer's life, of the production history, etc. And so he wanted to make a game that like reflected how he felt about that time in his life and like the process and stuff. So he made a game essentially about making games, about games that have souls, about games like, you know, but the wraparound of it is this love story that you haven't really gotten into yet. But and I don't want to spoil it, but it's
I've gotten some of it, but yes, some of it, only a little bit.
It's supposed to be about, you know, how do I even put this? It's about like walking away from something and then coming back to it and then trying to like resurrect something that you had left behind and like how you've changed in the meantime and how that changes what's there. And then like later in the story, you'll discover Sarah, who's the love interest, and she's like a traditional artist, like a painter. And so the interaction between like art, like what is the different the games as an art medium, like what is like how does it fit into the overall pastiche of art? Yeah, and so it's really those reasons, like that kind of shit that I love about this game. Like the creativity not only in the mechanics but also in like the kind of the boldness of the storytelling.
I have managed to infuse the CTF with another soul. Oh. 5th of October, 1974. CTF Gorge. Oh! Those fish explode! Oh, it's gotten completely different. I love... Oh, it's infused the soul now.
Yes.
Of the fishing game into it.
Yeah, exactly.
Thick sheet of glass is separating the player from the fish. Looking in their eyes, you sense a sigh of relief. Oh, that's wild. Yeah, no, this is
the visual novel and the fishing game.
That's actually fantastic, seeing that it all merged together, and it's such a brilliant idea, to be honest with you. And it is really haunted too. Like at the same time, it kind of captures that sort of like found footage feel to it. It's got like some good 90s era internet vibes feel to it at the same time. And it's like one of those things where it's like, yeah, you could imagine some dude in his basement doing research on the souls of video games.
Yeah.
Like you could do that. It would make sense.
I saw this question in chat, by the way. They were asking where the devs are from. So they live in Korea, but they're from Belgium. They just live in Korea.
Okay. So when you're talking about like that time period in their life and making video games, about making video games, the only thing that really comes to mind to me is like the Beginner's Guide. And have you heard of that? You played Beginner's Guide? Okay, so like Beginner's Guide was fantastic for that. I'm wondering like what kind of inspirations did this game have? Is it something like that? Like did Beginner's Guide have anything to do with that? Is it mostly just personal experience? Like what all went into that?
So it's less of like a specific game. They wanted to create a game about game making culture, like game making, like so the forums, the sharing on the forums. Like I met these guys in a forum, a Discord server, which is essentially just a modern day forum called Haunted PS1. And Haunted PS1 was like a really cool place that like about 6 years ago. And it's still a cool place, but it was like back in like 6 years ago, it was really popping because they were putting out these yearly demo discs that were kind of the rage at the time, that were showing off all these really cool concepts for like, you know, small PSX style games. And, you know, basically a lot of like, you know, you join a development group, you join a Discord community and sub communities forum, you make friends, and then, you know, you make little dev groups and friends fall apart, and, you know, you live a life on there. And so that was more of the inspiration, was like kind of stepping into a place on this person's life and being able to deconstruct it. Rather than like, because like the Beginner's Guide is more about like a guided tour of a thing. Like this is more about like kind of stumbling onto something, very found footage vibes.
Yeah, it does feel very found footage. What I'm interested in, like, were there anything that were inspiring for like horror genre? Because it does do a couple of the horror things quite well with found footage, and I'm wondering like where did that come from? Was that just like a personal interest kind of a thing?
Yeah, I mean, Adam has like a really unique, like almost like poppy style when it comes to like the comedy that he puts in his games. So a lot of like the horror and stuff. I mean, like if you looked at like the Ghost and stuff like that, like it's pretty obvious there's like inspiration from like films like Pulse and things like that. You know, some of those like J horror inspired kind of like techno horror kind of things. Um, you know, The Ring and stuff like that. But in terms of like the actual like storytelling of the game, it's like a lot more similar. And I don't really want to spoil anything, but it's a lot more similar to something like White Noise or like Ghost in the Shell. Like Ghost in the Shell was one of the inspirations. I know it's not horror, but it's kind of horror.
It's a little bit horror. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Black Mirror-esque horror, you know?
Yeah.
No, I love Ghost in the Shell a lot. Especially, you know, the idea of somebody hacking your eyes is uniquely horrifying, and that's what Ghost in the Shell has as part of its exploration, so freaks me out. So you're over on the publishing side. Can you explain a little bit about, like, how you feel about publishing right now? Like, because you're running a publishing house. What kind of games do you publish generally? Like, is it just this, or is it other things as well?
Yeah. So I publish horror games.
Okay.
We've released. The company started back in July. We've released 5-6 games now. Capital Mortem, Glitch Spanker, Muffles Life Sentence, Days Without Incident, Dead Finger Dice. There's one I'm missing. This one. Yeah, No Players Online. So like 6 games so far. What do I think about publishing in general? I think most publishers are like bad. I think like most people that do publishing are trying to be like good, but I think that it's like it's essentially like any business industry. It's an industry of sharks. I think that like most publishers are primarily interested in their like pound of flesh. I think that like publishing as an industry, like the foundation of it is like inherently evil. It was like a necessary evil for a long time when like you had to like get games in stores by like putting them on discs and like selling them on a shelf. But with like digital distribution, like the purpose of a publisher has become like really vague. So I think that like it's like generally the way that publishers function is like as a loan shark. Like they pay you, you know, you go to them so you can get some kind of sum of money to make a game because games are expensive and hard to make. And then, you know, for the privilege of giving you the money, you have to pay them all the money back, plus whatever, you know, surcharge on top of that, plus all of their expenses for marketing, QA, localization, all that shit. And then also they get to take like half your game's profits. I always thought that was like evil. I don't much like that.
No, I describe them as vampires, so we're in complete agreement with each other, to be honest with you. It's a lot of vampirism out there in that regard.
Yeah, it is. And I don't know, I don't like... I understand that like a lot of people... I think like most people just in general are trying to do the right thing. I like think that most people are not like trying to be evil. But I do think that like the question of like what can a publisher offer is like changed, and like it needs to change like in the future. So the way I view publishing is a lot more as like what can I guarantee as a value add to the game in terms of like marketing, QA, all that kind of stuff, and like what is the percentage gain that a publisher like the developer is going to like get off of like my involvement, and then how can I guarantee that the number that I'm taking is like half of what they like, not half, but like what that additional profit would be. How do I guarantee that I'm less than half? Like, so if like again, if a game is going to make $100,000 extra because of me, I want to make sure that my cut is $50,000. Like,
yep.
And that's kind of how I view it. And so I try to make a brand specific publishing label where like there's like a voice to the games that I'm putting out, so that when people like buy a Black Lantern Collective game, like they know it's like one of mine. So like this is like the third publisher that I've kind of done. The first one, as I mentioned, was Dread XP. I started that in 2019, end of 2019, early 2020. I did a bunch of cool indie horror games. Probably the biggest one there was The Mortuary Assistant, but I also did a game called Amanda the Adventurer, My Friendly Neighborhood, Sucker for Love, and then like a bunch, Dread Delusion, a bunch others. And then I moved from there to, I managed the horror label for a company called Critical Reflex. We did games like Buckshot Roulette, Mouthwashing, Lunacid, Threshold.
I know those games.
Yeah.
Those are awesome.
Those are some really good ones. I'm proud of the work that we did there. But I left and I just wanted to own my own thing, and moved over to Black Lantern. And I didn't have like any money to start, so you know, it's been kind of like a slow growth process. Well, slow growth. I guess like 6 games in like the
Yeah, I
like
was gonna
first
say
quarter
it's
is
not very slow.
slow.
Yeah.
It's slow for me in terms of like what I want from like results and stuff. I'm like really hard on myself when it comes to like results. And
When
so again, like it was just really important for me to like put out something where it's like this is a game that like Ted would sign and Ted would put out. Because like when I moved from Dread XP to Critical Reflex, everyone was like, "Oh yeah, I could see like these are games you would sign." And now that I'm doing Black Lantern, people were like, "Yeah, I could see that these are games that like you would sign." And I like that. Like I like that. Um, there's that kind of sense of familiarity with what I'm doing. And so yeah, that's kind of what I do. And then I try weird marketing stuff, and then I work really hard to make sure that the developers are getting the best deals that they can when it comes to like Asian marketing or you know PR support or localization and all that kind of stuff. And so I leverage my innate charisma and likability into savings for the devs and higher
so
sales. And,
when you
yeah.
said that you wanna make sure that if you get $100,000 of extra income for the game, you want to take $50,000 of that. That's I know you're just ballparking that. I think that's generally what should happen with a publisher. It's one of the things I talk to the
Yeah.
community about a lot is that a publisher should never take more than they make for you. You know, like that doesn't make any sense. More often than not, what I end up seeing is like games get hamstrung, where even though
Yeah.
you know it's not taking all of the extra added value from it, they end up paying a percentage of that permanently, and that ends up
Yeah.
being kind of a detriment to creating games in the future. As a publisher,
Yeah.
how do you avoid that sort of scenario?
There's like a chart that I have of like the wish lists before I pick up a game and like the wish lists after I pick up a game. Like I can pretty much tell what my like accelerator like rate is going to be. I can usually like basically increase wish list gain by like somewhere between like 200 to 300%. And like like you can look at the Steam charts and see that. And then it's like a pretty simple calculation of like how many wish lists can the game reasonably make in that time period. Then you do some kind of a modifier for the expected wish list conversion rate based on not just like how many wish lists there are and what the average is, but also like how long they've had those wish lists, because like older wish lists convert less. And then what the MSRP of the game is going to be, and then you kind of come up with an expected unit number, and then whatever your costs are going to be that you would need. I don't recoup most of my costs like as like part of what I do, but there's a couple costs that I recoup like porting and localization. But anyways, add that all up, and then you kind of get a number that you can compare to another number and go, okay, this is making sense.
Yeah, that does make sense. No, that's good. Yeah. I think it's one of the things that like the community rarely gets to hear about is the publishing business side. So this is actually a lot more interesting than like it's definitely interesting for the community is basically it.
Well, I think that like most people don't know what they're doing. Like most people I know that like do publishing like don't know what they're doing, which is why like all of them go out of business and stuff. And maybe I'll go out of business too at some point. I don't know. I'm doing okay right now. Most publishers like generally like the kind of the most important thing is taste, like having good taste in games. But I think that like money and like fame, like so success has like a paradoxical relationship with your ability to like tell which games are good. Because I think that like a lot of knowing which games are good is just like vibes. Like it's like, oh cool, like I'm a human being that understands that other human beings are gonna like this game. This is intended, by the way. You did figure out which way to go.
Out of bounds.
Which is
Swim out of bounds.
Yeah, out of bounds. Yeah, it's hard to explain. But
oh God, what is that?
yeah, that's why I wanted you to get here. This part's cool. Yeah, so like a lot of what makes like publishers good is like having good taste, and then like another thing that makes publishers good is like not wasting all of your money, and they're like super bad at the second part. And so yeah, I think that I think that this was a point I was making about like the future of the ethics of publishing and things like that. Yeah. So like, yeah, I think that like publishers can do good if they start focusing more on like the services that they provide in terms of like marketing, in terms of like effective QA feedback, things like that. Like I think that one of the things that Black Lantern does really well is that like I've designed games before, like I've been part of the game design process. And like basically everyone on the team, QA producers, whatever, are like just huge like horror fanatics that are all game designers as well, or have designed different systems, things like that. Like one of them is like an RPG tabletop designer. Another one is like like junior coder, things like that. And yeah, I think that's like really important for being able to like provide good feedback and help a game, especially like as a service to indies who are like in general, like most indies, like especially solo developers, it's like a really lonely life because you're working on your art and like you're just fucking it's just like sucks being alone all the time. And so like having that friend that's there to basically bounce ideas off of, like I know that sounds like trite. But like you can't discount the value of like having other humans that understand and know what you're making and like care about what you're making there to support you. And there's a real value to that. And I try to never forget that, like, the power dynamic of publishing has always been like really fucked, because it's like the publishers on top and the developers on the bottom. But like publishers won't, like developers will exist without publishers. Publishers won't exist without developers. Like we work for them, and remembering that it's a partnership. And like I always stress that when I'm signing a new game, is like I don't view this as a partnership, as a like a master slave relationship. I view this as a partnership. And so I hope that I answered your question. I know I've been rambling for a minute.
No, the rambling is actually really cool. Like it's good for people to hear, to be honest with you, because there's just so many times where publishers do just absolutely destroy a game dev, or put it into a corner where it cannot succeed. And it sounds like you've got the right heart for it, the right direction for that kind of a thing. It's very difficult to pull off. It's really, well, that's so weird. Having the collision on the inside but on the outside is super strange. It's very difficult to pull off, and it's very difficult to do what you are describing while still staying solvent. You have to be like, you have to cut so much in terms of cost out to be able to do that, which is like awesome. Honestly, if you're pulling it off, man. That's great.
Yeah, I think that like a lot of overspending comes from I don't know, like nepotism, bad decisions, ego.
Sure, yeah.
And then, I think that like salaries get like really inflated, and there's certain
inflated salaries is already a big thing. Like that's always going to happen inside of like a big corporate environment. I mean, like more for smaller publishers. I think it's just like lack of understanding the market more than anything else.
Yeah.
I think it's less malicious,
Yeah, for sure. But I also think that like you have to be like realistic about like where you're hiring too. So like I live in Poland now. I moved to Poland. I'm from California. I wouldn't say I don't sound Polish, but I moved to Poland because like first and foremost, the development scene out here is like really nice. Like there's a ton of really, really talented developers. But it's also like 25%. Like I pay like 25% living here than I would in America.
I would do it. Yeah. Like, I mean, I moved up to Washington State because there's no state income tax. Same thing. Yeah, legitimate.
Kind of nice. But it'd be even cheaper if I moved to like Indonesia or Malaysia or Bangkok or something like that. There's plenty of people I know that started their studios by moving to some place where it was just significantly cheaper to employ a bunch of people. And like games is like as a tech quote is like one of like the lowest margin ways that you can apply like your skills as like a programmer and shit. So like everyone that's doing games is doing it like at the sacrifice of doing something that could make them a lot more money. And so trying to keep those costs low is like super important.
Yeah, no, it completely makes sense. I mean, like, especially with indie games, too, because a lot of indie games don't reach massive critical acclaim. They don't reach, like, a huge amount of income. They make an amount, and then hopefully that amount is enough that the dev gets to make another game,
Yeah, most games make fucking nothing.
Yep.
Like if you get
They make
like, I think
most
it's like if
games
you
make
sell
nothing.
Yeah, I think it's like if you sell 1,000 copies, you're already in the like top 95% of games on Steam or something stupid. But
Yeah,
that's
it's
also
insane.
just because of the number of like AI slop like horror porno games that come out.
There's a ton of them. Yeah, it's absolutely absurd, to be honest with you. Yep. AI will make the games for you in the future. I mean, if you want to play garbage, yeah. Like, it's like, maybe.
Yeah, it's like I don't like AI. I think it may. It's like the argument for and against AI are really kind of interesting to me from like an academic standpoint. Like, okay, I'll say this. I feel like what was promised to me as a child from like the techno future has like become so fucking like
Not that.
yeah, like if you told me when I was like a kid that like the future, like the AI of the future was gonna be like what's destroying the planet, I'd be like, no, that's the good. That's how we get the cool technology of the future. That's how we get cool stuff, right? Like when the AI, like the I'm trying to think of like a good cultural reference of like like robots like cleaning our houses and shit. Like I guess like
It's like the
I'll say
Jetsons or Star Trek.
But what am I,
Yeah.
75?
Yeah, no, it's like Jetsons and Star Trek, though, man. I mean, those are the best things for it. We were talking about
Star Trek, there we go.
retrofuturism earlier today, which was like, like what we thought the future was going to be like in the 70s. And now it's like, oh, in the 70s, we thought we'd have robot butlers. What do I get today? A bunch of AI-generated women that are sending me sex messages on Twitter. Great. Like that's... It's a weird ass time to be alive. Yeah, I completely
It's a super
understand.
weird time to be alive, but like I imagine people that like made horseshoes were like really mad when cars came out, and like I bet
Fair.
like pikemen were really mad when everyone started innovating with guns. Like I don't know, it's like that's what I think is like I think that the problem is that like the value of work being tied to like dollars, like there's like an inherent like clash between capitalism and progress that's like going to essentially like destroy society. So like without some kind of like UBI or decoupling of like the work incentive from like capital gain, like we're just never going to be able to like progress like meaningfully through automation without like the byproduct being the disenfranchisement of like a vast majority of people. And so like until we're able to grapple with the fact that like the fundamental foundation of our society is like so like fundamentally fucked and corrupt, I don't think we're ever going to get to the Star Trek future.
I don't think we can get to the Star Trek future as long as we're like, honestly, the amount of infighting and everything that we have, especially on the internet, like it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But I agree with you in a lot of respects with that, especially when it comes to artistic expression, because what a lot of people are focusing on is they're focusing on the throughput. They're not focusing on the craft itself. So when you have people that are using AI to jump to the end, they're not actually doing any of that craft along the way, which means they're not growing their skill set. They're not learning new things. They're not adding finishing touches that otherwise wouldn't be there. They're just getting the end result. And part of building a game, part of building any creative media, is the journey to get there, because it inherently changes the thing that you are building by doing so. And I think that many people who are just using AI to jump to the end have lost this idea. They don't realize that that's the case. It changes not only you, but it changes the work through the process of creating it.
Yeah, I guess that is also like I think that is where the divide between the people that are pro AI and against AI kind of comes in, is like, what is the purpose of craft? Like, what is the nature of craft? Is the craft to create the product to then like be sold to the market, or is the craft like the creation of the project and like the artfulness that goes into it? And like obviously, as a creative myself and as someone who like works in the creative industry, like I would say like the soul is like what really matters. But at the end of the day, like we remember the games that sell. Like we don't remember the games that necessarily like someone like bled to put their like heart into. Like I don't doubt that like there's a lot of people that put like a lot of heart and soul into, I don't know, let's just say like Elden Ring. Like obviously there's a lot of like craftsmanship and like beauty that goes into that, but like we remember Elden Ring because it sold. And so how do we as human beings value our desire for the newest shiniest thing with also the respect for art? And I'm not sure how to do that. It's something that I guess I personally struggle with too.
I make the weird shit. I mean, the thing is, as long as you keep making weird ass games that are not for everyone, I think the craft stays alive. That's it. And like that's why I liked the beginner guide so much, because it's for a particular kind of person, a person who's generally already creative, and it's very meaningful because of that. And it's meaningful in different ways to different people. I think anytime you're doing something like this and you're not trying to create a storefront instead of a game, when you're trying to tell a story or trying to get somebody to understand your perspective through this media. It's very interesting, and it ends up being something that's greater than the the parts that made it up in the first place.
And that's kind of actually, like, ironically, it's what No Players Online is about. Like, bringing it full circle, like that whole, like, the process of the craft, bleeding your soul into the game. Like, what is the point of creativity? Like, what does it mean in, like, the sense of, like, what it means for, like, you and the your partner, like, personally. Like, it's all. That's why I really liked it. Like, Adam, I guess I won't tell his story. You can do a follow-up interview with him about this. But, like,
Sure.
Adam was going, like, the process of him making this game was also, like, a very emotional journey for him personally. Like, moving to a new country in Korea, like, starting a relationship, finding, like, learning the culture there, deciding to leave, ending the relationship, like, all that stuff. Like, all of that together is, like, what the process of No Players Online, like, it bleeds into the game. And it's one of the reasons why it's interesting. And that's something that you can't really get with AI. Yeah. I'm just a little bit of tangent, but I'm reminded of the Fleetwood Mac album Dreams. I use this example a lot because I'm a total jack off, but like, when they were making the Dreams album, like, basically everyone in the band at some point had, like, fucked and broken up, and then they all, like, hated each other, and, like,
As it goes,
they couldn't talk to each other outside of the studio. Like, they could only, like, they didn't want to hang out. They just wanted to go in and do the music, and well,
That's funny.
like, but Dreams is, like, one of the best albums ever fucking made. Like, banger after banger after banger, and, like, when the history, it, like, adds to it, and it adds this kind of bittersweet quality to it. And I think about that, like, I think about that pain, like, that, like, I've been through, like, a really hell of a year. It's like building this new company, leaving my previous company. It's like personal things that have happened to me over the year, and it's like that. It's not just the good times that we, like, bleed into what we do. It's the bad. It's the dark.
Everything.
It's like
Everything.
and seeing, and it's not always to the benefit of what we're making. Sometimes it's to the detriment, but it's those scars that, like, give it character. It's like it's those bumps in the road. It's those fuck ups and those mistakes that, like, give it that human texture. And I think on the internet especially, like, we're so often, like, prone to, like, jumping down each other's throats about, like, stupid random bullshit that, like, we forget that like without that human, if someone was, like, a perfect, like, facsimile, like, it's just, like, I don't know. It's like a world of cartoon characters. Like, without that human touch, we all, like,
Are you saying it doesn't need to be tribalism, us versus them, and when they don't agree with you, they're not the enemy that you have to kill? Impossible in the internet of 2025. Yeah, no, I super agree with you. I think that there's way too much of that way too often. One of the things that I've pushed for pretty heavily inside of our community is just go make shit. Right? Even if it turns out to be bad, even if it turns out to be a garbage thing that you make, you tried to make it, and you probably learned something along the way, and then you support someone else who also is making their weird bullshit, and then we just keep making stuff together. And it's worked out really well. We've got a lot of people now that we do game jams and all this other kind of stuff, and it's just more collaborative. But the reason that I feel that way is because I grew up in the old internet. And the old internet, like, yeah, there were trolls and shit, but it didn't really matter. It was like, I'm going to make a website. Why? I don't know. I want a website for my cat, right? Look how cool it is. I'm a nerd, right? Like, that's what it was. You had your weird website for your cat. And everyone's like, wow, you know how to make a website. Holy shit. Because, like, that was, at the time, that was, like, cutting edge nerdery. And now it's like, no, you need to have a perfect video game that appeals to them. You didn't get 50 billion sales. You're worthless. It's just like, dude, you missed the heart and soul of the whole thing.
Well, it's not just about, like, a perfect video game. It's like a perfect life. It's a perfect image. It's a perfect persona. Like, we demand such perfection from humans that, like, and it's like, it's often the case that we are doing so while hiding our own imperfections. But I think that, like, the like, my own personal opinion is that, like, I actually think it is getting better over time. Like, I think we've kind of passed the zenith of people being kind of, like, overreacting. Like, I hang out with, like, a fair amount of people in their, like, early 20s, just because, like, those are a lot of the people that I employ, and I work with a lot of universities and stuff, and like, most of them are, like, they're very open to, like, learn and to talk and to, like, open to new ideas and experiences. Like, I think that the extremeness of the internet has, like, for us that grew up in a time where like moderation, being like more moderate, was considered a virtue, and the era of extremes, I think that people are like so pulled hard in different directions that they end up somewhere in the I don't want to say I don't mean politically center. What I mean is that like they learn still the average person winds up there. We just don't have like a lot of incentive for like major like outlets or companies, especially because of like the way that algorithms push content towards like the most interested, to actually like accentuate that middle. But I still think that like 70-80% of people out there are like not the 10% shouting online and asking for blood. They're the ones that are like willing to listen and be cool. And I always just try to remember that those are the people that are not yelling on Twitter, and those are the people that I'm trying to reach.
The way that I feel about it a lot of times is there's so many platforms now that just push whatever is the most extreme viewpoint, no matter what that is. Doesn't even matter if it's political or not, because the more emotionally reactive an audience is, the more that they're willing to click or engage with something, whether they're angry or not angry. And it reminds me of Howard Stern. There was some analytics that they did on Howard Stern back in the day, before he went over to satellite radio, and they were trying to judge how long an average Howard Stern listener would listen to him. And they found that the average Howard Stern listener would listen through his whole broadcast. It was like nearly everyone would listen to the whole broadcast. He was completely just hanging on. And the average Howard Stern hater was the same. And both of their answers was, I want to hear what he's going to say next. And I was like, that's the moment where people realize that rage is going to get you a shitload of money. And then the internet has kind of followed suit with that, where it's just say the most bombastic thing, and if it ends up being, if it's emotionally charged enough, it's going to make enough money where you just do it again. And I don't think that's a good thing, and I don't know how you dial that back. The only thing you can really do is be like, nah, I'm just not going to engage in that. And I think as I get older, I'm just like, I don't have time for that shit. I think it's a thing that you almost grow out of, kind of a thing.
Like, I think you just have to like not be afraid to engage. Like, I don't know. I think that there is a way to solve it. But I think that like, especially, I don't know how old you are. I'm 36.
38. So right about the same age. Yeah.
But like, I think that like the past 10 years have been like very mollifying in terms of like our ability to converse with one another, because we got like so like addicted to trying to say the right thing and like not offending each other, that like we forgot how to like have like a human conversation, I think. And I'm not trying to say that like you should like be like deliberately offensive or anything like that. No. But like I'm like,
people forgot how to have an argument without calling for the other side to be destroyed.
Like, I did like I'm trying to remember how many years, 7 years sober now.
Good for you. No, hell yeah.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I did like Alcoholics Anonymous and stuff, and
great job
it worked for me.
Yeah.
Thank you. I appreciate. I just shouldn't have been drinking that much to begin with, but
that's how it always goes. But dude, you made it through. Like that's a tough ass thing to do. Like I've known friends who have done that in the past, and that is like the hardest. They always say it's the hardest thing they ever did in their life. So good for you, seriously.
Yeah, it was a big deal for me. But anyways, like I had to like sponsor. Like I was doing it in Phoenix, Arizona, which is not where I'm from. I moved there because of a breakup, as all good stories begin.
Yeah, as you do.
So I got sober, not as a result of the breakup. That was later. And so like a lot of the people that I was sponsoring were people that were like from various different like not so great backgrounds. Like there was like dudes with like swastika tattoos on their knuckles that I would have to like sponsor. And
dude, that's oh.
Yeah, but like you learn like that like everyone that's there is hurting, and like as long as they're hurting and they need help, like that's like humanity. Like we're all
people
like,
get pushed into weird corners when they feel
someone,
alone.
You can teach them like how to love.
Yeah,
sorry, what?
People get pushed into weird corners when they feel alone. I could see that.
Yeah, exactly. And I like one of the things I used to do in like the early days of like publishing is like every time a game would come out that like we would get like negative reviews, like. Oh. But the thing is, like, if you're going onto some like random indie horror game and being like, "Game sucks," developer gay, like whatever, like you're not having a great life. Like your day is not. Oh, sorry, there's ads going on. Should I wait?
They just started. Don't worry.
All right, cool. I remembered the point I was gonna make about like getting like people kind of needing to. I think what ruined it was like I think like the downfall of society started with like LFG and World of Warcraft. Like, and Raid Finder, don't even get me started.
That's such an interesting. That's the most wild connection that I've ever heard. Are you saying because it's like the lack of like social system now, where there's no reason to interact or have like a social connection? Okay.
So the way I played World of Warcraft back in Classic, and then I raided a ton in Burning Crusade, and then I played Waddle, and then I kind of I played Kata. I started playing Pandaland, and then I was like, yeah. And then I just kind of never went back. But I've had friends that have played for like, you know, the whole run of WoW and shit like that. And like in the old days of WoW, for anyone that's a million years old and can remember this, like if you wanted to like do a dungeon, you would go into Orgrimmar and only Orgrimmar because no one played Alliance. None of my friends at least. And so you'd be like looking for group, need healer, need tank, like, and you'd make friends, and like, you'd be like, fuck, this tank sucks, and this healer sucks, but this DPS is okay. And, you know, and then you'd meet, there's always like the tank, you'd always meet like a tank that was decent and a healer that was great, and they were always dating. And so like, and you would like make those friends. And you would grow, and then when you would join a guild, you wouldn't just like apply to a guild as an individual. You'd have like a group that applied, and so like you'd be going over like an application for like, you know, 7 people to join this guild, and you know then you accept the group, and then 3 of them would suck and they'd lose their spot in the raid, and like, you know, that was the days when like you had to like make connections in order to make your raiding group. Now you push a button and join a group, and you just set the difficulty slider to whatever your gear level can face roll through, and that's it. Like, and I think that's like kind of sad. Like, you know, we've simplified our lives to the point that like the meaning is lost, and I don't like that. I think that we should have more meaning in our lives.
I think you're completely right about that. Like, and it's not just video games. It's lots of things. And like, if we look at like the way that social media is now, the way that interactions happen on that, before you build a page, they would describe who you were. You would introduce yourself to other people on the internet. You would say, hey, look at my page about cats. Look at, you know, what do you have? Oh, I have a travel blog, right? And then you would interact, and you'd have a pen pal, but on the internet, an internet email pen pal, or, you know, email friends. And like, that was like a big deal. Is meeting people was different. Now it's a Twitter post, and, you know, fuck that guy because he said something that I slightly don't like. So now we're mortal enemies, and that's like it doesn't make any sense, man. Like, it's too fast interaction, too little critical thinking, and too much anger over something that makes no sense.
Yeah. I completely agree. And I think that the hardest part for most people is like to get that start where they look at themselves and be like, would I be able to like look past this in someone else? Like, it's really, really easy for, you know, basically all of us to like be like, oh, this is how things should heal and things should fix, and why is everyone like this? But it's harder to take that step in our own lives. So I try to like make sure that I'm doing that. Like, it's I don't always succeed. Like, I'm not perfect, but I do my best, and I think that's really just all that any of us can do.
Nobody's perfect, man. Literally nobody, like, at all. That's just how it works. We just do your best. That's all you can do. That's all we all do.
Yeah.
And it's like, to be real with you, I think there's pockets of the internet that are awesome. I really do. But I think large scale PvP enabled zones are like any area where fast content is the thing that does the best. Very short form, short messages, and anywhere where there is a monetary or fame related incentivization towards bombastic content, anything with highly emotionally charged content. And that's, unfortunately, the largest social media platforms on the internet right now, because they do the best.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I think it's because it's digestible, it's easy, it's consumable. But I also think that like, I don't actually agree with like the fried brain zoomerification of like most young people. Like, there's this guy making a game for me right now called Horripilant, and his name is Alex. He's like 20, 21, 22. It's like a clicker game. It's like a horror clicker game. It's really cool. And like, but he's making this like extremely long incremental game that's all about like setting up systems and stuff. And he's like zoomed out. Like he's like TikTok brained kind of guy.
The kind of person that can't have a meeting without saying 6-7. Yeah.
No. He's really smart. He's really cool.
Okay.
But like, if he has to pay attention to something for more than 5 minutes, like his brain jumps around. But he loves those numbers heavy system. Like when he started playing, like I got him military incremental complex recently as a gift, and he like made a tool that would do the clicking for him because he didn't want to sit there and do it. So like he's one of those like kind of his brain moves so fast and it's like solving problems all the time. But like I think that he's like just as capable of like consuming things with long term, like with like great depth and like great like significance. It's just like different than how we did it, and I think that like part of like go ahead.
I think the thing is, at the end of the day, is every generation has a different way of handling interaction, and every generation has a different style based on the type of media that they consumed. We came from a different time. We came from a time in the internet where things were slower and they're more, more personal connection. There's a lot of people now that are growing up in a time where it's more quick interaction and, hype-driven kind of a stuff. And whether that has a negative or positive effect on society is yet to be seen. We can be upset about it, but it's just because it was different for us. It was the same thing for our parents and grandparents. They're like, God damn, kids are just ridiculous these days. There was a time period where if you didn't go to college, you were worthless. And now you could absolutely make a career without having a college, and it's like, without having a college degree. And like these types of things just change over time. And I think really at the end of the day, there's a lot of tongue-in-cheek jokes to make about it, to be like, oh yeah, goddamn Zoomers can't pay attention, but like it's just tongue-in-cheek jokes at the end of the day, because it's every generation's gonna be like this, every single one of them, no matter what.
Yeah, like I saw the FNAF 2 movie last night, and the theater was like wall to wall, like autistic teenagers and early 20-somethings, and me and my date. And I'm like the autistic 36-year-old, and so my date was like, "Oh my god, they're so loud and annoying." And I was like, and I didn't know what was happening in the movie. I'm not like a huge. I've played all the games. I'm not huge into the lore scene of FNAF, which is an entirely different beast. Sure. And so, but I was loving it because like I was like, everyone was so excited about it. Like, and it was like, and there like I remember when like, I don't know, like, claw hook hand wolf guy came on the screen, everyone's like, oh, and I was like, yeah, of course he's gonna be in the movie, man. He's in the game. But they were just like so excited for it, and like all the references, like everyone was like clapping during like certain moments that just made like no sense to me. But like I love that shit. Like, and to be clear, like I'm also like pro chicken jockey. Like all of
what
my
does that? Wait, hold up.
friends,
no, you gotta unpack. What do you mean pro chicken jockey?
Yeah,
what does that mean?
Like, the Minecraft movie, when they did the chicken jockey and all the kids like lost their minds and shit, like that whole era of meme, like I loved it. I was there. I saw kids losing their minds, and like every adult person I knew was like, oh, it's so terrible. Like, why are they disrupting everyone's good time? I'm like, bitch, it's the Minecraft movie.
The way that I look at it,
live a human experience. You know what I
look at it as, to be honest with you, is I was seeing the Minecraft movie the same as Rocky Horror Picture Show. It's exactly the same. You go to a showing of Rocky Horror Picture Show, and everybody in the crowd is yelling shit. Everybody's yelling memes. People bring in like newspapers and squirt guns and all kinds of shit to like simulate rain, and like it's ridiculous. If you've never seen Rocky Horror Picture Show, it's insane. And the way that I see the Minecraft movie now is effectively the same, which sucks because not everybody signed up for that when they went to go watch it. There were a lot of families that just went to go watch Minecraft movie and then were blindsided by it. Like that does suck for them, for sure. Yeah. A toast throws toast. Exactly.
Well, I guess that point is well, I think the chicken jockey thing kind of happened later into the life cycle of the movie. It was like a week later when people really started doing it. So I guess that like by the time it started happening, you could kind of like know, but like, I don't know. It's like, I'm reminded of like, I was at a rave in the desert once, and like, some guy was like, do you want some punch? And I drank the punch.
That's
and
a foolish mistake.
Like LSD. It was like, there's a bunch of LSD in that. I was like, oh no. And I was like, why didn't you tell me? He's like, you drank the punch at a rave. Like, I literally don't know what you thought was going to, like, what did you think was going to, and I was like, okay, that's actually super fair.
No.
Like,
do not drink the punch at the rave, Chet. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, it's like, if you go to the Minecraft movie and you don't want to see shirtless kids screaming up and down the aisles while they throw popcorn in the air, then like, I don't know. I genuinely hope that like little art house theaters will start playing the Minecraft movie in 10 years, and that ironic adults will be screaming chicken jockey and doing all the sing-alongs and shit like that. I think world needs more shit like that.
I mean, our generation still does the same memes as when we were growing up. Like legitimately.
Yes.
If I say badger, 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 how many of you going to say mushroom, mushroom, and shit? Like, how many of you know, like honestly, like anything that I could pull from Newgrounds back in the day? Yeah, it's a snake. Like, look at you. It's the same. 6'7" is the same as that shit. It's the same brain rot from a different generation. What a weird, like, honestly, the experience in this is absolutely wild.
Yeah, I love it.
I have so far.
I think they make really cool stuff, like, in general. I'm really looking forward to seeing what like each of them does next, like individually, as like creatives. Like Victor, my old business partner Abby, she's a musician, and like Victor, the guy that does music for this, actually does her like synth and stuff like that. And so for me, like these people are not just like one-offs in my life doing something like this. So,
oh, that's awesome. I mean, it's great to have that kind of a connection for sure. This is weird to me. You have this deeply haunting figure, very obviously scary, right? But the moment is so serene, and you almost feel bad for them.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I don't want to spoil anything, but it's kind of the point. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it
you'll
feels. It's just very well done.
Yeah.
Like that is incredibly well done. That moment for that. This game is actually really pretty, really beautiful. How long was this worked on?
It was worked on for like 2.5 years, like 2.5, 3 years. I've talked to Adam about it. He's like, in hindsight, he could have done it faster, but like he wanted to take his time with it to kind of see where the ideas led him, and I think it's cool. But again, like for a guy that's used to making like 32 games in 32 months, like this is a crazy amount of time for him. Next thing he wants to do in like 4 months.
Yeah. I mean, it's always interesting finding. I guess this feels like an art piece for a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a slice of that person's emotion put into media in a way that you can't get that experience in any other game. And it's not like a hype-driven machine. It's not like a buy a whole bunch of products, not a storefront kind of a thing. It is their expression from a time in their life where they felt a particular way.
Yeah,
I love that. They're rare.
I mean,
I
think that I think that most small games are like that. Like back when I was working with Mick on Buckshot, like it's funny because like Buckshot was not supposed to be like this huge thing when he made it. It was like a game he made in like a month and a half for fun, like he does for most of his shit. And so like I think that that's interesting to think about, like what a game means to someone when they make it, and then what it kind of becomes to everyone else, and then I guess more importantly, like what it becomes to the artist after it's come out. I find that all just to be very fascinating.
Yeah, and even beyond that is, how does the audience change that? How does the act of viewing upon it change it for the creator, and how does it change it for the viewer as well? I always love art pieces like this, games like this that are more art form than they are anything else.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that the hard part though is that like once that financial like price tag gets like tied to the game, like what it becomes to you then, like in trying to maintain the love of what you're creating rather than just the loving whatever makes the most money. But then again, I mean, I'm not going to throw any shade at people that like just create to make money. I mean, it's
The thing is I love this line here is, it's not about the intention. It's you put a bit of your soul in there unintentionally.
Unintentionally, yeah.
And I believe that the viewer probably sees that or feels that.
Yeah.
And that's 100% accurate.
Yeah,
and the only time you will get that kind of message is from someone sitting in their basement making some very strange video game.
Yeah, like if I look back on like some of the writing I did during like I can like pinpoint the breakup that I was going through, like when I like wrote that piece of shitty poetry, and like it brings me back there. And it's like at the time though, like I didn't. Like even I was like, no, this has nothing to do with her. This is me. I'm focusing on me right now. And then you look back and you're like, oh, of course, like this had an impact on me. Like, of course, this is how I was feeling at the time. Yeah.
Sigil infused detected. Following entities have been detected since last edit and have been automatically cascaded. No, that's not the error. Class sigil infused. Type mesh. Wait, I can just delete. Oh, creepy. So it's put me into debug mode now. And I can remove or add anything that I want to. Huh. She is the error, but I don't feel like I should delete her. You know? What's the worst that could happen? Oh, it's not going to let me. All right, it's dependent on it. So let's see what else we can get rid of. I love that this has gone through so many different control styles and play styles for all of this.
Yeah, it's super cool.
Oh, I can save memory by deleting the world. There we go. We can just delete everything except for her. I love that it's like in kilobytes as well. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
So what are some of your favorite games out of everything that you've played?
My favorite video game, like I have a stock answer. Well, okay. So I played like an absolutely obscene amount of Resident Evil 4. Like I was like I got the full S on Mercenaries mode. This was back when I was a kid and I had time for that. Probably my favorite game narratively of all time is Soma. The frictional games horror game Soma. I think it's one of the most beautifully written games. But have like I have like a literally obscene amount of hours in the Total War franchise. Like I have like just in Total War Warhammer 3, I have 3,500 hours. So
wow, that's a lot, dude.
yeah,
Yeah, it's a heck of a lot.
I like the new DLC just came out and I'm taking a break from it to do this. But like as soon as we're done, I'm like fucking getting back into Total War.
This is wild. I think my favorite game of all time is still going to be Secret of Mana for the Super Nintendo. Just something about it made me super interested in games when I was young and never went away.
Yeah, I know. So I was never really a console gamer as a kid. I was like really so. I started. I had like a Sega Genesis when I was a kid, but like I played a lot of handhelds because I was like really sick. So like Game Boy or yeah, mostly just Game Boy, various different versions of Game Boy. I was really into like Pokemon and Advance Wars and Fire Emblem and Dragon Quest Monsters and yeah. Um, Shit like that was really cool. And then I got into PC gaming with like the original Total War Shogun, Warcraft strategy games, Civilization, things like that. And then I didn't game a ton of I gamed in high school mostly through World of Warcraft because um, it was like a really easy way to meet girls. Like it's true. Like a ton of women played World of Warcraft, and especially like I mean now, but I think it's statistically more women play MMOs than men at this point.
I don't know. I actually have no idea.
Yeah, I think in World of Warcraft it's like 51%, but I'm not exactly sure. Like, but I was like, um, I'm really charming, but I'm like, only like passably a 6. So I would do better meeting girls online that were interested in like the quality of my jokes and japes rather than if I had a 6 pack. Which I'm even fatter now, so you know, luckily I focused on my prime skills.
You gotta hone that personality, yeah.
No, it was just funny. I was reading the chat and I saw someone like in there that was like, "Oh, I met my like current husband playing WoW," and I love that shit. Like, cause again, like I try like really hard to like not become like so far from like the people in which we like sell stuff to. Like that's what I think happens to a lot of publishers. Is like they get money and they get success, and there's like a certain like seductiveness to the clout of being like a part of the games industry, where like people like get a real big head about it, and they kind of like turn into assholes. And I try really hard to like
in like the
not turn
publishing
into an
field
asshole.
stuff, yeah.
Yeah, especially in like the business money fields, like because you go to conventions and like, so I travel like 42 weeks a year for work. Like I got back from Shanghai like a week and a half ago. I was there for like
Hmm.
WePlay. Not yes, no, China Joy. Sorry, WePlay was earlier this year. And when you travel so much, like so much of your social network is like the other guys that are guys and girls that are like doing it, and you get like your road friends and friendships are strong and intense and short and and it's very party heavy, it's very excitement heavy, it's very new things heavy, and it gets really really easy to forget the that you're just like another like that the people that we are here for are like the
Yeah.
audience and people that want a good experience, not
It's
like their goal when buying the game is not to fund my trips to Croatia or whatever.
yeah. It's funny you were talking about like like publishers getting like kind of a weird sort of outlook on stuff. And I remember
Yeah.
the strangest interaction I've ever had with a publisher in my life is long time ago. I just started streaming. And you remember Mixer, back when Mixer was around?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I was talking to this publisher, and it was when we first started making stuff, and they wanted to publish our game that we were working on. And I was like, okay, if you're going to change one thing about my business model, what would it be? And he said, I'd stop streaming on Twitch. And I'm like, okay, what would you do instead?
Your marketing though.
He's like, I'd start streaming on Mixer. And I was like,
Oh,
and I told him the whole reason why I thought Mixer was going to die, because at the time Mixer had basically incentivized all of its users to be bots, and the way they'd done this is by watching any stream on the platform, you gained a certain currency, and that currency allowed you to turn it in on any channel, and it would increase the monetization of their paid currency. So what people would do is they'd leave their computer running overnight to gather this currency and then give it to their favorite streamer. In fact, the top channel on all of Mixer was called Monster Cat Radio 24/7. Get your sparks here. To do that, and that was the currency was sparks. So I was like, what do you think is going to happen when they open advertisements for that platform, man? They're going to have the lowest throughput of any platform for ads anywhere,
yeah,
because they've trained all of their users to be bots.
yeah.
And he had no answer for this, and like 3 months later Mixer died. It's like, all right, man.
That's really funny. I don't even know why anyone would say that. It's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
It made me laugh. I was just like, this makes no sense, dude. Like, it's super
I
weird.
in the early days of Dread XP, one of the guys that
Oh, I'm lost.
was running the well, he owned part of a company that I was also a part of. It's a long story. I won't get into it. He was like, we should try to court more Mixer streamers. Like he was a big Mixer evangelist, and I also knew that he was like a big Zune guy, and he was like Quibi's going to change the world, and so he was just like wrong about a bunch of stuff, and so that's why I knew Mixer wasn't going to be great. Yeah.
Oh, I think I've done it. I think I've deleted enough of the environment that it'll be okay.
It's easy when you delete all of it.
Yeah, I just deleted it all.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep going.
Go nuclear. No. I just think it's funny that you deleted it all. It's cool.
Well, I think I made it mad. Oh? What? It's an old vinyl record. Yoink. I'm going to set the speed to what this is. We're going to reverse it, set the speed to 50. Signal is stable now. There we go. It's so clear, I can hear myself again. Putting on these records, it's acting as a sort of channel. I don't think we have much time. I'm Sarah. Or what's left of me. This record player, John, he put my soul in here. He needed a host, something personal. By tearing me loose from the game, you somehow cleared up all the noise. Like popping your ears. I don't remember much. I was walking. Something horrible happened. And when I woke up, I could see again. Everything clear, but I had no body. Dude, I bet he killed his own wife to put her in the video game. No! It's terrifying. Yeah, a little bit of Edward moment. Yeah.
There is also like an ARG related to this game, so it was funny when you were talking about like the IP addresses earlier and stuff, because it's actually like that's the part of the game that like really got fucked up by the DMCA, because like the game is not intended to end at the end of the game. There's like an ARG that hasn't been solved / finished yet. Oh, well, I mean it's being released in phases, and there's another like I want to say 20% of the game that will be released with that. Yes.
Yeah, I'm a really big fan of ARGs. Like massive fan of that.
Yeah. So like in the login screen, when you logged in to the account, there was the account of Sarah. You can't log into that yet. At the end of the ARG, you will be able to.
Oh. That's kind of rad. I dig that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you mentioned ARG and my life is ruined now. Oh, my name is Mindfriend. That's a little band with a gun. Wait.
This is my favorite guy.
Why do I have a gun?
This dude fucking rules.
Oh, is this for extracting essence? Good idea. This will be much easier than last time. Alright. With that in mind, I don't want to finish the game. I want you to get the game. So, I'm going to stop here. As much as I want to complete this game, it is very interesting and weird. Yeah. No, I know you're like, no. Here's what we'll do. I'll play through the entire game on stream sometime later. With that being said, we are almost at time. If you were talking to any new game developers, people who are just starting out in the industry, what would be your advice to them?
Make shorter games. I think that most of like the core of like what makes a game like really good, you can figure out in like the first week of development. Like, is the game fun to play? Do you have a good idea? Make a lot of prototypes. Get out there, meet people, go to game jams, participate in game jams. And do not be afraid to release things. I think that most of the people that I know who are really good, really smart, really talented, but never quite make it, it's because they're too afraid to release things. And I think that you can sit there for a million years trying to make your perfect project. But I think that at a certain point, you have to accept good enough and let the art live without being an overprotective parent about it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I super agree with you on that. It's the same message that I'm always telling everybody in the community. Yeah, that's phenomenal. Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, outside of that, it has been fantastic talking with you, and it's really nice to have you on. Our conversation steered into a bunch of different things, but I think it was great.
Yeah.
I actually think it was a really cool interview. A lot of people in chat were digging it, and I really enjoyed it. So I want to thank you for being here.
Yeah, and just so everyone knows, sorry, I gotta plug real quick because I do have a job to do.
Oh, he's doing it. He's doing it.
I gotta be a business guy for a second here. I do my primary method of like community building is Discord. There is a Black Lantern Collective Discord. You can find it on the Steam page. It's like for No Players Online, all of them. There's a little Discord link down below. It's also in the game. All of our games have a Discord link to them. So yeah, it's like down there you see Discord. That's just going to lead you directly to the Black Lantern Collective Discord. I host movie nights there. I stream bad horror movies. So if anyone loves horror movies, loves horror games, and wants to hang out, that's where I am. That's where we all are. That's the cool thing.
Hell yeah, dude.
That was my pitch. There you go.
Yeah,
Thank you
I linked the Discord to the chat, and I linked the Steam page for the game. And I'm hoping that you guys get a lot of visibility on this because this game is weird and awesome. So I'm digging it. I want to play through it again where I'm focusing only on it instead of doing the interview and it at the same time, so then we could do it on stream, and it should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. All right, cool. It was fun. It was nice meeting all of you all, and if there's nothing else, I'm gonna fuck off.
Well, it was nice meeting you, and thank you very much. And I will see you later, dude.
Yeah, this is super cool. Talk to you later, man. Bye.
Peace out.